We got breaking news on CBS Sports HQ, of course, in Augusta National. Here's Tiger Woods on 18 with his last putt of the day. Let's listen in.
72-hole scoring record right here. It's a complete. The win for the ages. I know he knows it. No records this time. Just a gigantic personal achievement, though. This was more than a pursuit of a green jacket this week.
Yeah.
This was something really internal.
Well, Tiger wanted to get to Mount Everest, but he definitely got to base camp. I mean, this was phenomenal. For where he, as you described, Jim, for where he was. But I've been talking to him this week in the Champions locker room, and I believe he's found gratitude this week. He's so thankful. He could have lost the leg. It was over 50% chance of losing his foot. And his #1 motivation was to play with his boy, Charlie, and obviously put this on the calendar to come back to Augusta.
Well, all smiles there for the Big Cat, despite what the score may show on the card with the 78. But Tiger Woods, you got to think this is all a huge moment for him. Remember, 508 days since in any type of tournament at all. But coming back to Augusta, the Masters where he's won 5 times. You see it there this round today. Got a little bugaboo on that first 9 with 3 bogeys at 4, 5, and 6. But maybe got a little back together there on that second 9, finishing with that 78. But started the week a 71 that first round. We all thought, okay, this is vintage Tiger. Then ran into some trouble maybe with the weather yesterday and also Friday. And then today seemed like a little fatigue. Of course, dealing with that right leg, you see him kind of limping off a little bit. But again, a monumental moment for the Big Cat, just getting out there and completing 18 in 4 consecutive days there at Augusta. All right, let's bring in the fellas, Doug Bell and Chip Patterson. And Doug, I'll start with you. This is a moment that we were waiting for. We just wanted to see him get through 18 in 4 consecutive days. He got it done. Your first takeaway here from the Big Cat.
Well, Brendan, I was getting goosebumps watching and looking at the applause of the patrons, looking at the smile on the face of Tiger Woods, and listening to the great Jim Nantz describe it perfectly and poignantly. As he said, this was much more than trying to win his 6th green jacket. This was something internal. And it's hard to be descriptive in that moment. But yes, Tiger Woods did everything in his power, both physically and mentally. And that's the strength of this man to get back to play at the Masters. And the scores are irrelevant, even though after that opening round of 71, we were thinking, well, maybe we're going to have this glorious ending. Played solid on Friday amidst tough conditions. And then obviously this weekend, the physical limitations took its toll. And he was a fatigued golfer Saturday with the wind and the cold. And then obviously today, nothing left in the tank. But nevertheless, he did it, guys. I mean, this is something, regardless of who wins the 2022 Masters, it will always be remembered as the comeback week of Tiger Woods. I mean, we didn't think this guy would ever walk, maybe ever play again, and he defied the odds and surprised us all one more time. What a week, Brandon. What an incredible moment it was.
Amazing images as he walks off 18. Look at that smile. He just put up a 78, which is tied for his worst performance at the Masters as a pro or an amateur, and it matches the 78 he put up yesterday. And when he was speaking to Amanda Renner, he was almost chuckling at himself, at just being in disbelief at his own putting performance. We wondered after he won back in 2019, the way that we saw him embrace it. And we looked at Tiger Woods as though he was entering a new stage as a competitor, as somebody who was approaching all of the golf that he had left with so much perspective, understanding the climb that it took for him to get back. And now he's had to do it again after the accident. And so to see him be able to embrace all of the adoration, to look around at those throngs of patrons that wanted to shower him with love and just say congratulations on making it to this point. I am happy that Tiger Woods, the human being, is able to sit there and, from what we could tell right there, really receive all of that applause, receive all of that adoration from those patrons there. And so, we get to see Tiger Woods at this point in his career. We'll get into maybe what we saw from the golf game. There's still some good stuff there in his game, and now we get to cheer for him in this next stage. Amazing that he was able to complete 72. Disappointing that it finished with a pair of 78s, but still he finished 72 holes, and that has to be a big achievement for Tiger Woods.
Chip, you beat me to it. That's what I was going to bring up next. And Doug, looking at his game, what did you see there, especially in that second nine? He kind of cleaned up what we kind of saw in that first nine. Break down what you saw from the big cat on the course here.
Well, let's forget about what happened Saturday. I mean, that was just an anomaly. His first 4-putt, and he had 4 3-putts. And then just off the edge of the green, he had the putter in his hand 3 times and couldn't get down in 2. So yesterday was just a head scratcher. He's never putted that poorly before. So that'll never happen again. But obviously today we had a fatigued golfer. But I think what we saw enough of on Thursday and Friday is a guy who still has plenty of game. And I think it's a man who has to get tournament tough, continue to knock off the rust, play a little bit more competitively, and obviously get better physically. He was walking with a noticeable limp all week long. So I think that leg will continue to get stronger. I mean, he's not going to go backwards at all in the physical therapy department. So I think what we're going to see is a guy who's going to play the rest of the major championships, the PGA at Southern Hills, where he's won there before, Brookline, the U.S. Open, and St. Andrews, the Open Championship. I think that's safe to say. And I hope he sprinkles in another tournament, maybe 2, but maybe it'll be Jack Nicklaus's Memorial Tournament. I think this guy could still win again, Brandon. That's what I saw. For him to achieve what he did. And listen, he made the cut and beat guys like Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau and Xander Schauffele and Jordan Spieth and Patrick Cantlay. I mean, he beat back world-class top 15 players. So, yeah, I think Tiger could win that record-setting 83rd. He's only going to play big events, as we mentioned, but I think he's more than capable as he continues to get better and better physically. I think that's the bottom line. He just needs to keep rehabbing that leg, and I know he will.
Absolutely, he can win again. The swing looks good. There is no wasted motion. It's not as violent as it has been in previous times in his career. Statistically, he was right there with pretty much everybody else in terms of driving distance, driving accuracy, strokes gained driving. His approach game was very, very good. He had some amazing shots with the wedges, something that you would expect from Tiger Woods at Augusta National, but the short game around the greens was pretty good. It was just that putter. And yes, the performance on the week is dragged down by what I agree with Doug was an anomaly performance on Saturday. But even on Sunday, we saw things get a little bit loose on the greens. And some of that, I will say, was probably from the physical and mental fatigue. But all the things that I was concerned about, especially after what he told us a couple months ago, where he hadn't even taken full swings with the driver or any of the big clubs. I mean, he was out there mashing 326-yard drives out there on number 2. He can play. Tiger can win. It's just going to be getting himself back into tournament shape so he can make it through 72 holes. But everything that I saw from him in terms of what I was concerned about, how he was going to look off the tee, how he was going to look full swings on approach, all that stuff was good. So, yeah, I'm right there with you, Doug. I would not be surprised if we saw him at Southern Hills.
There's no question, of course, the game is still there. We saw it over those 4 days, even in today. But I'm curious, though, Doug, when we look at the schedule, PGA Championship is in May, assuming he may want to play there, but could we see him before that as we talk about ramping up more competitive tournaments here? When's the next time you think we'll see Tiger?
Brandon, I think it'll be the PGA Championship. I think anything before that is just too soon. He needs time to recover, obviously. We have no idea what he goes through to get ready, but I just can't imagine the physical therapy that he goes through and the ice baths and all the process. I mean, it's got to be just enormous. And so you need to kind of sit back, go back to Jupiter and relax a little bit and let that body continue to heal and continue to practice. And I think he's going to do that. I think what we see now is a man, listen, his dad had him playing golf when he was 2 and 3 years old and groomed him to be the champion that he is today. Tiger's a golfer. He wants to play golf. He wants to play championship level golf. I think this was the first hurdle in his comeback. Let's get back to the Masters. That's where I want to be. I want to be at the Champions Dinner. I want to make the cut. I want to experience that again. Let's get the vibes going. And he did all that. But now I think it's the second hurdle you have to get over. Let's continue to get that leg better. And then let's play a little bit more at home. But I think, Brandon, to answer your question, I think we'll see him at Southern Hills, but not before. And again, there's 3 more majors. And maybe Jack Nicklaus's tournament, we might see him 4 more times this professional golf season, a total of 5 times. That's what he said way back when. I'm going to be a part-time player. And I think that's probably we're going to see the remainder of this calendar year and probably for the foreseeable future.
So before Thursday, I would not have even said the PGA Championship. I was in a position where I figured it was going to be Augusta National and the Open Championship. Those were the only 2 things that you could guarantee that Tiger Woods was going to make time for, especially with the Open Championship being at St. Andrews, a course and an iconic place where he is going to make himself as ready as possible to go out there and play with the idea that he can win. But I do think that he is a competitor. And I do think that what he found, not really even just in that Thursday round of 71, but the way he turned things around on Friday. We saw that flurry of bogeys. We said, oh, Tiger's leaking oil. Oh, no, Big Cat might be cooked. And then the way that he finished strong on Friday, I think his feeling on Friday night or on Friday afternoon, being able to be in a position to say, hey, like I was able to get myself back up off the mat within the confines of a tournament and make a charge, make the cut. I've still got it. After what we saw on Friday, that's when I said this is somebody who can be ready in May to go and play at Southern Hills in the PGA Championship. Again, I did not think that PGA Championship or U.S. Open were necessarily on the cards before Thursday. And then at the end of the week, now all of a sudden I'm saying we could, and I expect that we will see Tiger Woods in the final 3 majors of the season.
Well, I hope it is the PGA Championship because the Open, we got to wait the whole summer for all that, Chip. I mean, come on. I'm with Doug. I'm all about Southern Hills, so let's hope that's the win the next time we see the Big Cat on the course. Of course, well-deserved rest after what we saw over the course of the weekend there at Augusta National. Chip Patterson, Doug Bell, appreciate your time breaking down Tiger completing his run there at Augusta. You see the scorecard here, 78, wrapping up that Sunday round, making the cut, as Doug mentioned there, playing well on Thursday, getting back to this point, competing on one of the toughest courses there on the PGA Tour, over 13, but still showing some fight there in that second 9. Big Cat showing he still got some game. Only question is, when's the next time we'll see him? Hopefully sooner than later.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.